Hey everybody, welcome to Grumpy Acres. You're on this side of the homestead, and today I'm getting some stuff ready for our camp weekend. We've got a potluck on Saturday, so I need to get things ready as I'll be running the vendor tent and out there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so I won't have time to get this stuff together. So this is one of those great recipes that came from Garen's great grandmother Acres. And Grandma Acres, they lived and ran a ranch in Sargent, Colorado. And they raised sheep and potatoes for Lay's Potato Chip Company, etc. And so, you know, these kind of meals become important when you're doing that and you're that busy. You need to find something that you can just scrape up from out of the farm in the pantry and put it together and make a great dish. So this is her ranch stew. So we started it with basically, if you cut it down, now remember I'm doing it for a potluck, so I'm going to do 4 times the recipe. So you start with your hamburger. Now they had lamb, so of course they would be using lamb burger, and that's fine. You could also use chicken if you wanted to. Do it your way, however you want to do it. So we're started with the hamburger, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our onions. So you want 1 medium onion, and we'll throw that in there. Of course, remember, I'm doing more, so we're sticking that on in there. Get my onions going. Got this on a medium fire just to go ahead and start getting everything ready. My meat's already browned, so I'm not worried about that. I browned that up just so you didn't have to watch me do that. So stirring this all in. Set that over to the side there. And then we're going to go with half of a green pepper. Let's get our green pepper on in there. And I'm going to get that all stirred up. It already smells delicious, and we've only gotten onion and pepper in there. My goodness, I'm excited. Yummy. All right. Then we're going to put some water in there. I got my water going. Our whole kernel corn. We're cheating because I'm busy. I still have to get seeds separated and all of that for this weekend. A little bit behind with Back to the Land Festival, but that's okay. I'll catch up fairly quickly. Let's get our corn on in there. This is the bulk of everything. Everything else will be seasoned. Oh, that's not true. We've got to add our beans. All right. Then it calls for, and I thought this was kind of cool, guys. This is how old this recipe is. It calls for 1 number 2 can of kidney beans. So I had to go in and I had to look up what is a number 2 can. Super simple. It's 1 pound 4 ounces. So I was like, oh, okay, all right. So I looked. We don't have those anymore. So they are 15.5 ounces. So what I did is I have an extra can here that I'm using. I'm also not using kidney beans. I would have had to boil them, let them sit overnight, that kind of thing. Didn't want to do that. I just need something quick and easy, so this is what I'm doing. So we're going to go in, we're adding our beans, and I'm using northern beans. Use what you want, what you got. Get all that in there. So I will make sure in the cookbook that I go back and I correct the cans on there, and I'll probably just go ahead and do it by ounces just so that you know that you'll need to buy extra beans or put extra beans to soak. Mix this on up. Now this is something that she would have left on the stove to just simmer for a while she was getting the rest of the chores done and getting the girls ready. And so fun story, in that area, they were down by South Fork, and we got to go down, I don't know. It was a happy, sad moment, and we went to go take care of Garen's mom's ashes out there. We wanted to make sure that she was where she grew up in the place that she loved. So we took her down to South Fork, and when the girls were teenagers, so Aunt Nancy was still alive, and Aunt Nancy would take us through, and the very streets that we were on and the B&B that we stayed in were the very streets that she drove the school bus. The teenagers drove the school buses, and so she drove the school bus, and she was showing us, now picture how big a school bus is, and on the side of the roads the snow was just all the way over the top of the school buses, and I couldn't imagine being a teenager trying to drive that and be responsible for their lives. That would have just freaked me out, I'm not going to lie. All right, so then we've got that going. Now we have all of our, nope, we don't, we got tomatoes, so we're going to throw our tomatoes in there. Keep thinking I'm done, and then I turn around and there's more. The few. These are tomatoes that my tomato fairies left me on my table when we got back to the land. Super excited to be using them. Still getting tomatoes out of the garden. I might have to switch pans over. It'll cook down too, so you know those vegetables are nice and hearty, but they'll cook down and we'll get more space in the pan, so I'm not too worried about that. So we've got that on in there. Now, we're going to start with 1 teaspoon of chili powder. Sprinkle that on in there. And then we're going to go 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to use the kosher salt. The diamond salt's put away, but this will be fine. Sprinkle that on in there. Okay, then we're going to go to the red wine vinegar. I'm also making refrigerator rolls, and I'll do a separate video on that so you guys can see what's going on with that. And we need the red wine. Got to reminiscing and forgot that I quadrupled this recipe. Oh, so we'll get that going. Okay, and then 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. And then we'll move on to our red pepper. All right, so now we have everything in there, and we're going to simmer for about 30 minutes. Now, one of the things I noticed as I was going through the recipes, I started with the refrigerator rolls because I wanted to see how those were going to work out. And so the first batch that I did, I started at the recommend, it said between 20 and 30 minutes, so I started at that 30 minutes. Well, I completely forgot about their altitude, so the rolls came out pretty dark. And so I thought, well, I'm going to cut that back. So the next batch I did it at 15 minutes, and those came out a little bit better. So I'm going to do another batch. We'll play around with that. We'll do that in a different video and kind of figure out all of that. So that's important. Whenever you get one cookbook or you get the recipes that have been passed down from generation to generation, it's important to remember where they lived at that time when they were writing those recipes down. So when it comes to altitudes and all that, you're dealing with different time ranges. We're at 1,000 feet. They were at 7,000 feet. And so it makes a huge difference in what's going on. So remember, even though it's in that cookbook and that's the way it says to do it, sometimes we have to play around and experiment and make sure that we have it great for our altitude. Because Lord knows if we try writing a recipe book for every single altitude, oh, that would be a nightmare. You would literally have to travel all over the world in order to be able to do it. So I'm not going to do that. So now I'm going to let this simmer. When this gets done, we'll come back to you. I'm going to show you how it's going to work out and how it looks. We'll see how it tastes. And that was just super simple. So you've got a meal that you can prep and get finished in 45 minutes. And if you want to, put it in a slow cooker, throw everything in the morning and have it when you get home. So super simple. I'm happy with it. It looks beautiful. So we'll see how everything looks and tastes when we get back. All right, so now we're at the end of it. We've got our ranch stew finished here. So we're going to go ahead and take the lid off. Now what I've done is I've used my Lodge cast iron cookware. This is the enamel one, and this is I believe the 12 quart. I also have 8 or 12 quart that I use. I use these religiously. I love my cast iron. So I can ground my beef in there. I can do everything in. Again, it's that one pot. I just love a one pot dish. So we go in here. This is all finished up. This is what this looks like. So it's nice and stewy. And I actually had G taste a little bit and see what he thought. And he said it just kind of took him back to Grandma. So he said as a kid he never appreciated the green peppers, but now they make the dish. So guys, this is just a real quick, easy fix and something that you can do, like I said, in the slow cooker. You can do it on the stove and it's going to be great. Now we'll put the link below. So if you like this style of Lodge and you like the way that we're cooking here, make it easy peasy. We're going to put that link down below. You guys look for that and you'll be able to get the Lodge. And that being said, I want to show you this one too. So this is the Seth McGinn's. This is called a can cooker. So I take these can cookers. This will transfer into this can cooker. When it cools down, I can put this directly in my cooler, take it out to camp. When it comes a little bit time before potluck, I can turn around and I can put this on the fire, set some coals aside, and that is actually going to heat up, and I can just pop this lid off. As you can see, it's pretty strong and sturdy. It clips down so nothing's going anywhere. It does have a hole in the top so that you can do it. This is a stainless steel. This is not aluminum. I've had many people come to me at a campfire and they're like, oh my gosh, because I'm going to blow something up. This is what this is meant for. So this comes off. It's got a nice rubber seal on it. So that rubber seal right there seals everything in. You're not splattering anywhere, and it's got a nice deep dish in there. Now, ours are well loved. This one is not as well loved because they usually only have to have one. So as you can see, I put these right down into the fire. Right now I'm boiling vinegar and water. I had some chili in there and something happened. It didn't come all out. Vinegar and water, I boil that up, scrape it out. It'll be as good as new. I'm thinking I can get it into one canner, but just in case, I want to have this one ready to go. So make sure we'll also put the link down below. Check out the can cookers. You guys will love them, especially if you're doing that potlucks, that kind of thing. So they're wonderful to do. And really, that right there, in a nutshell, that is ranch stew. So I hope you guys enjoyed the recipe. To get the full recipe, maybe we'll have G link it. If you have questions, we missed something, let me know. This will definitely be in our Back to the Roots cookbook. I decided to do the Back to the Roots cookbook because it was so important for us to maintain and keep that tradition, especially when you have farmers and ranchers that have been in the family for so long. What did they do to make it easy for you? What did they do to pull things off the farm and out of the pantry? This is what we're doing. So it was as simple as going back to Grandma Akers' recipes and seeing what happened and what she was doing. And guys, when I talk about old recipes, Garen's grandfather was born in 1898. So Darrell was born in 1898, and Grandma Akers was born in 1907. So these are recipes that came through the Depression, continue to come through our family, and have fed us for a very long time. We wouldn't have men in the family that look like mountain men if the food wasn't good. So let's keep them fed. Let's keep them going. Super simple, super cheap. This is how you make it. This is how you do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Look forward to more like this. We're going to keep pushing some of the recipes out of the cookbook. And as we go, then we'll show you. So until next time, guys, go live a life debt-free.
Thanks, Milo.